Hello, welcome to this your channel, the Eurofan. That's me. Attention, as the heavyweight of the competition is coming. After the emotional and heartbreaking performance from Cornelia Jacobs in last year's contest, having achieved the 4th place in the ranking, Sweden will continue with its participation as it could not be in other way, being closer to tie with Ireland in number of wins. Stepping stronger with every entry year after year. We will see now who was the artist, and most a well-known face for many, who had the task of representing the Scandinavian nation on the main stage of Liverpool. Here we go. For today's episode, I'm going to review the Swedish entry for Eurovision 2023, which has been represented by singer Loreen with the song Tattoo. I know that you will say that she does not need an introduction, as she is the queen of Eurovision, like many people usually say. But like everyone else, I will make a review of her biography and career, before having the Eurovision experience for the 2nd time as a former winner. Loreen Sinem Nornata Langwe, mostly well known as Loreen, is a Swedish singer and songwriter, born in the country's capital Stockholm, from Moroccan parents being the eldest of 6 siblings. When she was 6 years old, her parents got divorced, and her mother would move with her and her siblings to the city of Västerås, which she usually mentions as her city of origin, getting back to Stockholm as an adult. She starts to get noticed in 2004 with her participation in the first edition of the Swedish version of Idol, under the stage name of Loreen Talawi. During the audition phase, she will receive the wild card for the judges, thus being able to compete in the show, where she ended at the 4th place at the end of the season. After her participation in the show, she has some musical hiatus, getting focused in roles as a presenter and producer in many television shows from many broadcasters, both private and public. Many years later, she will get into the public eye on music during 2011, having been selected as one of the contestants of the mythical national final Melody Festival, with the song My Heart Is Refusing Me, being her first attempt to represent her country at Eurovision. In that edition, being placed 4th in the 2nd semi-final where she competed, she will pass to the formerly known second chance round as Andrea Chansen. However, during that round, she will not get a spot in the final show. Despite her disqualification, her song ranked high in the musical charts of the country. Not having enough with that first participation in the national final, she will try it again in the following year in 2012, participating with the song Euphoria. This time she will qualify straight to the final show, and subsequently she will become the undisputed winner of the edition, after an authentic outburst of votes from both the international jury and the public. This same feat will be done again by representing Sweden at Baku, Azerbaijan, receiving votes from the great majority of the participating countries, therefore achieving the 5th victory for the Scandinavian country. The song will become as well in an authentic musical phenomenon that year, reaching high positions in the rankings of more than 30 countries, and is actually recognized as one of the Eurovision hits of all time. Shortly after her victory in the Caucasian country, Loreen will finally release her debut studio album in late October of that year, in which the 2 songs with which she has participated in Melody Festival to date will be included. In the following 2 years, she will get quite busy, performing as a guest artist on the show Artful Nights, participating in television shows in both Sweden and abroad, and of course on her first tour through many European countries to promote her debut studio album. She also organized her first residency in 2014 in Malmö, with a concert series in the months of November and December. During 2015, she will participate in many events, remarking her participation in the show Eurovision Song Contest Greatest Hits, which has been produced by the British public broadcaster for the 60th anniversary of the contest. She definitely had to be there, with the success she has had and still having with her song Euphoria. And at the same time, she will be working on the songs that will be part of her 2nd studio album, releasing some of them as singles, with a discreet and variable commercial performance. Sometime after in 2017, she will return for the 3rd time in Melody Festival, attempting to represent Sweden and Eurovision again. doing it that time with the song Statements. In a similar result to her first attempt 6 years ago, she would place third in her heat, moving on to the Andra Chanson, and later being eliminated in that second chance round. Despite the failed attempt, she moved forward with her musical career, announcing the release of an EP and a studio album on summer and autumn of that year respectively. After these releases, she will participate in 2020 in both local television shows and films produced by Netflix, highlighting her appearance in Melody Festival in Hall of Fame, performing the 3 songs with which she has participated in the national final to date, and a cameo appearance in the film Eurovision Song Contest The Story of Fire Saga, together with other former winners who also made a cameo appearance. In addition, she has been releasing some singles, which did not have too much transcendence in the musical charts, particularly in 2021. She will release her first single in Swedish, which comes to attention as it was the first time that she performed a song on her own in the language. Apart from her musical career, she also has done some political activism throughout the years. During her participation on the edition of the contest held in Baku, Azerbaijan in 2012, she was the only contestant who spoke directly with human rights activists in the country, subsequently reporting the situation in local news media. That same year, she also expressed her support for political prisoners and signed a petition to ban the death penalty in Belarus during a visit to perform at a musical festival celebrated in the country where she was invited. In 2013, she was an ambassador for the Swedish Committee for Afghanistan, a non-governmental organization who has the goal to help on the stability and the peace of the Central Asian country, participating in programs in favor of children's education. Loreen did not think about returning to Melody Festival after 3 participations in the mythical national final, and much less attempting to represent Sweden again at Eurovision as a former winner. But after thinking about it much better, and after having a certain feeling, she will try it for the 4th time, not knowing if it will be the last one. Let's figure it out then how she lives the Eurovision experience for the 2nd time. As usual, the Swedish British broadcaster would organize what it went to be the 63rd edition of the renowned national final Melody Festival. A submission period was opened in late August of last year for the Swedish artists and songwriters who were interested of taking part in the competition, which lasted until mid-September of last year. The broadcaster revealed after the deadline that more than 2,800 proposals were received, surpassing by far the record from last year, in a proof of the increasing interest among the Swedish musical scene in the national final. The half of the contestants will be chosen from the open submission, following the same dynamic from previous editions, while the other half of the contestants will be directly invited by the broadcaster. The selected artists were officially announced in late November of last year, being Loreen among them, and certainly the fact of her name coming out among the contestants caused a lot of commotion and sensation among the Eurofan community, although we do not have to forget that she has had mixed results during her participations in the national final. Well, even so, just by the fact of appearing there, made her become the big favorite to win the competition. About the format for this edition, there will be an important change. While the semi-final of last year split the contestants in 2 groups, in which each group of contestants will compete for put spots in the final show, the semi-final for this year will discard that split by competing the 8 contestants for the 4 available spots for the final show, in a similar dynamic like in the previous heats. Beyond this, the format will technically remain the same around the last edition, resuming again the traditional tour they usually do for every show in many cities of Sweden. Loreen will make her first appearance in the 4th heat, casually closing the show. She will qualify straight to the final by placing first after the first round of voting from the public, just like happened with Euphoria 11 years before. Then during the final show, who took place in mid-March as usual, after the performances of all the finalists, the voting results confirmed the initial favoritism towards Loreen, being the undeniable favorite from both the international jury and the public, gaining the victory in the national final for the 2nd time, and thus the right of representing Sweden once again as a former winner on the main stage of Liverpool. a track that gets engraved on your skin. Now here comes the analysis according to what she has presented in her proposal. As it could not be in other way, there is another classic Swedish pop track with elements from dance music, with a melody which transmits drama and a lot of emotion at the same time. In the other hand, there is no doubt about the vocal skills from Loreen in this case, with a voice that projects a lot of power and a lot of energy, proved throughout the years since her victory in 2012 with Euphoria. The lyrics have been written by herself together with the renowned songwriters Peter Bostrom and Thomas Jason. Casually, these two the same ones who participated in the composition of Euphoria. Also Jimmy Thornfeld and Jimmy Johnson, very experimental songwriters as well inside Melody Festival, as well as the singer and songwriter Moa Kalebeka. About the context behind the lyrics, she describes it in a simple and complex way at the same time. It is a love song, there is no day without night, and there is no love without the opposite either. We tend to think that the grass is greener on the other side, but if you want to experience this deep, authentic love, you have to be aware that the struggle needs to be there too. We can run off the moment we feel a little bit of it. As I have commented previously, Loreen initially did not have intentions of participating with this song. In that sense, she has cleared out in an interview that she is a purpose-driven person. As long as she was composing the song, she felt something special with it, like a feeling that there was something with the song and herself that was going to happen. That premonition made her to make the decision to try it, without caring about the result and what could happen later. Reading the lyrics in detail, it expresses some mix of despair and willpower in the process of hanging on to a very deep love, even though there could be many situations which may cause suffering and pain. The first verse describes the fact that it is not the time for her and her partner in the song, despite they do not want to let it go, but they know it is about the state of an end in their love story, and that they eventually will reunite someday. In the other hand, the second verse describes how strong and important is the love that she feels for her partner, by letting it know that her heart is on its hands, and encouraging to take care of it especially. The chorus represents the peak moment of the song, openly and intensely expressing her feelings towards her partner, which are engraved on her skin like a tattoo alleging to the song's title, doing whatever it takes to be by its side, no matter the pain she could face. Like in many songs related to love dilemmas, the emotional state reflected in the song is definitely quite intense, which we could feel plenty identified. When you love someone with such passion and such emotion that we are capable to do anything to be close to that special person and be by its side. Having reviewed the song, now I'm going to analyze her live performance in the national final, which serves as the official music video release for this proposal. The performance is focused on Loreen, which is between two platforms, one of them hanging with a big leg string on its lower side and the other one full of sand. At first, she has her arms and legs extended towards the leg screen, while there is a spinning shot of 180 degrees, and there are some tribal shapes seen in the leg screen. Then she lays down on her side while she starts to perform the first verse, while there's imagery which reminds the sand of a desert. Here the element earth. Loreen's outfit is quite curious, which appeals to her nomadic roots with a slim outfit in beige, but her very long nails are the ones which are quite flashy, making her look like a sort of a warrior woman, which were especially painted and decorated for the performance. During the first chorus, she sits and makes movements both with her arms and nails, while the hanging platform is starting to raise slowly, and there is white smoke by all over the stage. By the second verse, she continues with some acrobatic movements, while there is imagery that looks like a vortex formed in the middle of the sea, here the element water, until soon after in the second chorus. She stands up as the hanging platform is still raising up, and the lighting is remarkable, simulating a storm in the middle of the performance. During the short instrumental bridge, the spotlights change to white, witnessing the white smoke running by all over the stage, here the element air, while Loreen is still moving her arms and nails. and by the last chorus, there are more tribal shapes in detail on the left screen, while the hanging platform is raising up much more. With the climax of the performance upcoming, the lighting becomes more energetic and warm, like these are intense flames. Here the element fire, finishing the performance on her knees on the platform, with her arms crossed towards her chest. Making a summary of all the comments, the Swedish entry for this year is undeniably a strong entry. I can recognize the intensity and the energy transmitted with the song, even much more if we are talking about Loreen. But in my particular case, the song did not raise the same sensations I have felt, like when I listened Euphoria for the first time. In the same light, I can say that I like the song that is projecting a lot of meaning. But unlike Euphoria, I did not see it as a winning entry. It was true that when it was known that Loreen was returning to Melody Festival in this year, most of the people automatically declared her the winner of the national final, discarding to the rest of the contestants. But taking a more prudent way, it was about to see if the premises were accomplished, and if she would eventually conquer again to the audience, like she done it 11 years ago. But prior to this, there was a little big problem after the victory from Loreen in Melody Festival. The hanging platform used in the performance weighed nothing but 1.8 tons, which was supported by the lighting rig of the stadium where the final show was held. But in practical purposes, this element would result too heavy to be transported and supported by the venue in Liverpool. There is also the precedent that the contest organizers are quite reluctant to use props hanging from the ceiling of the stadium, urging in this case to the affected delegation to modify or adapt the staging in consequence. In this method, the Swedish delegation kept in talks with the British public broadcaster in order to come to a solution which could manage to keep the staging as much as possible, because as we already know, traditionally in the Swedish entries there are no significant changes in the staging from the national final, because they know that if it works in the national final, it will work at the contest too. After many rumors and speculations in the matter, 1 month before the contest, Loreen herself confirmed that the issue was already solved, although she did not give too much details, maybe by leaving some mystery and surprise towards her performance. And talking about the staging in Liverpool, by the way, it could be seen that it would remain effectively identical for the national final after the first rehearsals, the platforms have been reduced and scaled to the stage in this case, which look lighter judging by the size of that, then solving the main issue with the staging, while everything else remains exactly the same. Watching her live performance in the first semi-final, she has done it the exact way like in the national final. The only thing I could remark in this case, apart from the adaptation of the platforms of course, was the use of the leg screens at the bottom of the stage, with complementary visual graphics like the one seen on the left screen of the hanging platform. But apart from this, it was a captivating and moving performance, with an extraordinary vocal performance, and she knows how to do it. There wasn't any doubt that she will qualify straight to the grand final. In fact, it was unthinkable the opposite, being one of the big favorites since the day one. During the grand final, the counting of the votes was in particular quite hard-stopping. The jury got overwhelmed with her performance, with she receiving very high scores from most of the participating countries, placing her provisionally in the first position of the ranking. But it was still to know what could happen during the televoting results, as the entries from Finland, Norway, Israel and Italy were coming quite strong, having consolidated big favoritisms among the audience before the contest, so anything could happen. Finally, being Loreen the last finalist on knowing the score received by the public, she placed second in the televote, earning the necessary points to climb to the first place, and subsequently achieving the victory and the contest on Liverpool. Fulfilling the initial predictions, Sweden had won the contest for the 7th time, tying Ireland in number of victories, and consolidating once more as a powerful country in the competition. A lot of things can be remarked from this final result. While in 2012 Loreen received the Marcel Besançon Awards in the categories of Artistic Award and Composer Award, this year she has received 2 more in the categories of Artistic Award and Press Award, being the only contestant to receive 4 awards since the establishment of the awards. Her winning song has reached the first positions of the musical charts of 27 countries, 10 of them in the first place, including her native Sweden. The day after the grand final, her entry became the most-streamed winning song in the streaming platforms that same day, surpassing the record previously achieved by the guys of Maneskin with City and Woni in 2021, and making a comparison of the points received by her 2 winning songs. Euphoria has received a maximum score of 12 points from 18 countries, while Tattoo failed to score any 12 points from the talent vote, which comes to attention being one of the few winning songs that does not receive the maximum score from any participating country by the public. But there was still to mention the 2 most important facts. Loreen makes history being the second artist who wins the contest twice, after the Irish singer and songwriter Johnny Logan, and the first female artist on doing it. There is absolutely no doubt that she has been breaking many records, revalidating herself once more as the Queen of Eurovision. Months after her victory, I also had the chance to see her performing live in the LGBTI Pride concert held in Barcelona in last mid-July. Here is an exclusive snippet of her performance. First of all, I have to say that it was absolutely impressive to see her performing live. You do not see that double Eurovision winner performing in front of you every day. I mean, it was a true fantasy. Talking about the performance, in which she headlined the first night of concerts. Although it was a sober staging, her charisma and her overwhelming voice has moved the emotions of all the public in attendance, and there was nothing else needed, just her singing her song with all that passion and intensity that characterizes her as an artist. There is no doubt that it was a truly memorable performance, very tangible with all the love and support she has received from the public. After her thrillful journey at the contest, Loreen moves forward with her musical career. At first, she has scheduled a European tour by the end of this year, and who knows if she decides to start working in her 3rd studio album, taking advantage of the sweet taste of her 2nd victory, mostly for her fans, which would like her to release new music in a more frequent basis. Making the final reflections, personally I consider that it has been a well-achieved victory, despite I did not consider her as a possible winner as I have commented before. It is also true that Loreen is a unique artist, who makes her music according to her thoughts and emotions, and that is truly evidenced through how her musical career until nowadays, sometimes being acclaimed by the public, and sometimes being a little more unnoticed, but that do not stop her in her nature as an artist, always following her convictions and doing her musical work with a strong sense of purpose. Having achieved a feat like a few artists have done, it will not be the last time we will hear from her for sure, which is now part of the great legacy of the Swedish pop as a musical phenomenon, which have started with the first Swedish victory from ABBA almost 50 years ago. And you, what do you think about the Swedish entry for this year? Come on and leave your comments down below, and I'm sure the discussion is going to be quite interesting. And this is it for today's episode. With the winning country for this year, we finished this series having reviewed the 37 artists who have participated in the edition held on Liverpool on last. For the next episode, I will start a new series, so stay tuned. In the meanwhile, I invite you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, enable notifications, and follow me through my social media. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.